Recent utility billing system issues in Tecumseh have some residents wondering when will it end. City Manager Jim Thompson says the end is near.
We had to duplicate 2 months in a row, and that upset a lot of people, but we had no other capacity to give a utility bill out except to duplicate the previous month and then put a note in there that we'll do debits and credits as soon as the system's up and we can go back through and do them.
Some residents say they are being financially burdened and are demanding answers.
My bill, the last bill that was actually read was the service date is June 15th to July 25th, which was a 6-week period, which we normally only pay a 4-week period. And I've been receiving, and that was like $350, and I called them at the time because I thought that was high. And they explained it was a 6-week bill. They had a glitch in the system or something. For some reason, part of the bills were not read for 2 extra weeks. But that was a one-time thing. Well, then the next month I got the exact same bill, and it still says service period 6/12 to 7/25, but then the due date changed on it.
Both of those months are hot months, and normally the utility bills are pretty close to even, depending on how you live. Now, people on senior citizens and all of that, they pretty well conserve, and they're using the minimum. So their minimum water bill is going to be $16.50 because they're going to use less than 3,000 gallons of water.
Not only is the city of Tecumseh hitting us with higher bills and everything right now, but it seems like that everything else is going up at the exact same time, which I understand they need to compensate on their cost also, but they have got to put into consideration that they're giving us the fuel surcharge, that they started that last year, maybe 2 years ago, and this is percentage on top of whatever else we use. Then they're putting on the $6 extra for the new metering system, and then they're charging us more because they're being charged more for their rates, their utility rates that they're saying that they're buying off of somebody else, which I've yet to see the Corporation Commission's report on this company that they're using for our utilities.
It affected me the same as every other citizen in that my bill went up significantly and then fluctuated, and I was concerned, called the city hall like everyone else. How it also affected me, different from all the other citizens, is that because I'm the state representative from Tecumseh, not only were they calling the city hall, they were also calling my office, asking and sometimes demanding that I do something.
There's people that live in this neighborhood that are on fixed incomes, and that can't pay it. We was told it's due October 27th now, and it's got 2 months on there. How are people going to pay it?
All of these things were coming in place at the time our computer went boom. And, if it hadn't have happened, a lot of these things would have been so smooth that it would have been very enjoyable. But we've had every wreck that you can have thrown at a city during the last 2 months.
My son, during the summertime, didn't have school lunches or anything. I barely had enough money to buy him breakfast or lunch to eat, and we were down to pretty much one meal a day, and that was the dinner. And there was nothing else I could do because the gas prices, the way they are, they kept going up. The utility bill kept going up. The city keeps saying that it's because we've been undercharged, but with everything else going up on top of all this, it's made it hard. I don't see how people on a one-income family or a fixed income can make ends meet.
What they see is they want that water to flow, they want that sanitation to be picked up, they want that bathtub to drain, and they want that electricity to come on, and they want to walk out of that house and drive on a good road. Well, sometimes your cities can't finance all of that without some kind of an increase to maintain the cost that the city's going through.
Tracy McDonald says issues have been ongoing for more than a year with her billing.
What happened in August 2007, I received help through DHS LIHEAP on my August electric bill. They paid a good portion of it. I had $80 that was remaining. That was my portion to pay. I actually had Action and Shawnee that was going to pay the other $80. Tecumseh wouldn't work with them. They couldn't agree on a date that it needed to be paid by. So I made payment arrangements to pay the final $80. That was due to be paid August 8th by the close of business, which is 4:30. At noon on that day, they turned my electric off. I went outside, the guy was still here, and I showed him that I had the money order ready to go. I was fixing to pay it. He said he was told that morning that mine needed to be disconnected, that I had to work it out with them. When I called the city, they informed me that I had to pay double my monthly average bill, which would have been $500 to get it turned back on. And even though I only owed $80, and they said that I had had my electric turned off twice in a 12-month period, which I told them was not true because my electric had never been turned off. And they said that 2 months ago I had almost had it disconnected because I paid it 3 days before they were going to come out and turn it off, so that was considered to be a disconnect anyway. And I argued the point with them. They told me to call the city manager, which I did. And when I called the city manager, Jim Thompson, he told me that he was going to talk to my caseworker at DHS, see if there was anything they could do to help. When they called him, I got a call back from my caseworker stating that he wanted my children taken away from me because my electric had been turned off in this horrible sweltering heat. That was just inconsiderate of me as a parent to have not paid my electric bill and get it disconnected. My caseworker, of course, knew the situation beforehand and didn't do that, luckily. Then my caseworker from Section 8 over at County Housing called and notified me that they wanted my housing voucher taken away because you have to have electric in order to be qualified for the voucher, and my electric had been disconnected. And it just seemed like in one day he tried to hold against me what I hadn't even done in the first place. And I ended up having to pay $500 that day to get it turned back on, even though it hadn't been disconnected ever since I'd had an electric back in 99 was when I moved to Tecumseh and had my electric bill turned on.
The bills that I have been getting are higher now than they ever been. I've lived in Tecumseh over 10 years, and they keep going up, and the service keeps getting worse.
Oh, we got a beautiful streetscape downtown Main Street down there.
But who's
that
going
he
to
spent all that
there?
money on. But nobody wants to go downtown Main Street because everybody's moving. You know, it's like ridiculous. Fix our roads. Fix it where people can come in here and live, and then fix up a streetscape.
We used to drive on old dirt roads. We could do that again if we had to. I don't want that, but what I'm saying is I hope the citizens will understand where the priority needs of the city is to provide them health, safety, and welfare, and then pray that we can get revenue to fix the potholes. The citizen wouldn't understand going back and trying to rebuild a database of all the customers and hand entering all of that and getting everything to balance at the same time. We're trying to take payments, and we're handwriting out the receipts for payments, and we're handwriting checks, and so it has been a nightmare. And I know the citizens out there don't understand all of it, but I would invite any one of them. It's a little late now, but I wish I would have invited any one of them to come up here and sit with this staff and see the verbal abuse that they take from the public and see how hard they're working and see them working after 5 o'clock trying to get it accurate for the citizens they work for.
I can't tell the mayor what to do. I can't tell the county commissioners what to do. The interesting thing is, and what I've done a lot of explaining to and educating the constituents is when they say, well, doesn't the mayor answer to you? No, the mayor answers to you, the citizen who lives in the district. I answer to the citizen, and the mayor answers to the citizen, and the county commissioners answer to the citizens. And that's really, at the end of the day, the bosses are the citizens of Tecumseh. And so if something's going on that they're unhappy with, the mayor and all the staff, city manager, needs to set up and pay attention because they're the ones that have been given the fiduciary responsibility to take care of those people.
I don't know if there was something better. That was something we had to do, in my opinion, to continue to finance our city. Even it's maybe not made a lot of people happy, you know.
September's bill was said to be mailed out to residents on Friday, October 10th, and should be accurate. Thompson says that debits and credits from the past 2 billing cycles will be adjusted in the near future.